Woo! Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 7 of the Truck Schmucks. This is the second episode in a week, and I was underprepared for that. But nevertheless, we shall go. We have another guest.
We shall.
Hello. Introductions of people.
Go for it.
Who goes first?
You're the guest.
All right. My name is Andrew Coon. I'm from New York, Kingston, New York. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of it. We're probably about 45 minutes south of the capital. We're in a pretty decent area. Busy. We're in my fire department. We're the busiest volunteer in our county. Just under about 2,000 runs a year. I don't really know what else to go with right now. I'm ready for some questions.
Yeah. I
know we're going to be talking about my business and everything. So, and then table talk, other bullshit. So I'm ready for whatever you have to bring towards me. So.
Also, you were telling me that you have a surprise for us. I'm kind of like.
So I have one right now. I will be working on 2 others, and then they will be out in the mail. But just a little something, obviously, with the business, what I do. So this is.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
I don't know what the fucking light here. Hold on.
It's the white balance. We can still.
We see it.
That is awesome.
That is awesome. Holy shit! I was not expecting that.
So that's
Thank you very much for that, dude.
That's
that is awesome work.
I'll get the other 2 done up. I'll just figure I'd do one for right now to show you, but I'll get 2 more made up. They'll be shipped out, mailed to you guys' addresses, and you guys can have them for your keeps.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Wow, thank you. Holy shit.
Perfect. I got another one for the collection.
I'm always good with surprises with people, so yeah. Sometimes I surprise myself.
Yeah, I mean, holy fuck. That's incredible. Thank you.
I showed a picture to my buddy earlier, and he's like, "Dude, that's pretty badass." I was like, "Yeah, I kind of don't really want to give it to him, but but it's definitely gonna get sent out." So.
Yeah. And
I'm digging your setup back there in your background, though. That's really cool.
So, aka the Tower Ladder Tavern, my basement. It's my home away from home. I really don't even come down here. I just get home all my collectibles, and I got about 40 leather helmets, old Pompier ladder, wooden ladders, wooden pike poles. Shit ton of Haugen bars, Hugh Haugen.
How long did it take you to get all that stuff?
What's that?
How long did it take you to get all that stuff?
Let's see. So I've been we moved in this house about 5 years now. We've been in this house. So pretty much since we moved in, I knew that whenever I figured I'd buy a house, I would have a setup down on my bar. A lot of it started with all my dad's old fire stuff. All his old helmets, his coats and stuff like that, and it's like a drug, it's pretty bad because like I'm constantly buying shit. I really don't have any room for anything else now. A lot of it, just talking with friends and just people out there trading donations. People donated stuff to me. I had a nice old wooden ladder, like it's.
Oh, we're getting the tour.
That wooden ladder, right there. So this fire department that was my neighboring department, they found it in their attic, and they were gonna cut it up and burn it. And I'm like,
Why?
Fuck? I said, why the fuck would you do that? Like, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, so the thing's heavier than shit. I needed like 3 people to put it up. But now it resides in my bar, it's just, and then along with, I can sit there and.
Oh, man.
this is this is like 5 years worth of collecting shit, you know.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it's something I like. You know, I enjoy collecting. You know, it's just something that I like doing. It's like it's just the vintage memorabilia. You know, stuff where like firefighting came from. A lot of people don't really remember it. They just go with new bullshit.
And the near fact that you have a Pompeteer ladder on your
do.
ceiling, which nobody really knows what they are anymore because not too many fire departments, well, they don't use them anymore, but
So
I know.
it's the lost art. Like you said, the title. We can add this into it too, you know. So
Yeah.
it's I've been looking for one for a long time, very long time, and my buddy, my assistant chief in my department, he's also a career fireman as well. And one of his coworkers, he's like, "Hey, I got this Pompeii ladder. I was, what do you think it's worth?" So he came to me. He goes, "Yo, you still looking for one of them ladders?" I was like, "Yeah." So he showed me pictures. I was like, "Dude, I'll give him like, how much does he want for it?" He's like, "I don't know, 500 cash." I was like, "Dude, I'll give you the money like right now." And I paid $500 for it, which is shocking. And come to find out, I guess it's an old FDNY one. I don't know if it's true or not, but apparently it came from FDNY. I don't know. It doesn't have any markings on it, but if that's the story, I mean, I'll run with it. But it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think it actually still holds true that your last day at the Boston Fire Academy, you have to climb. Yep. You have to climb them. Yep. So
I know they've been doing that for years with the academy. I mean, like you said, I don't know. It might be still true to date, but I actually believe also that Christiana down in Delaware, Tower 12, I believe that they actually have 2 of them on there. I think they have 2 aluminum ones, I believe.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I believe. I mean, I was talking to a couple guys on there. I believe they wanted to put them on, or I don't know if they really did or not. They might have been just fucking with me, but they're cool to have. They still come in handy sometimes.
There are tones dropping. I hear them in my ears.
Yes. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I'm like, I hear tones dropping. No, it is definitely not ours. But oh man, kind of threw me off there when we went off topic. We went off. Well, shocker for us.
We did what we did.
Yeah.
Went with the lost art,
Yeah. So where did obviously I think by the judging of the jacket behind you, you're a second generational firefighter. So I think the love for the job kind of came from your dad.
I'm actually a 3rd generation.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So both my grandfathers, my father, my mother, my uncles, a lot of cousins. So it's a huge family thing. So my dad, he's still active. He's about 46 years in. So he's got a lot of years in. Right now he drives. He told me it was his department. We're not in the same department anymore. I moved out of town, but my old department I was in for about 7.5, 8 years, and he told me that he would get out as an interior fireman when we had our first fire together. So we had an attic fire, and then he stopped doing the interior, which was, his choice. But we got to fight a fire together, which was something that, I'll always cherish in memory. It's cool. My dad was a hell of a fireman. We used to go to the scene all the time with him when fires used to go to. So I used to just watch him just do his shit, so it's cool.
Yeah. One of my last fires with my previous department, we had, it was a pretty good ripping job. And it was a busy day. That was our this particular fire. I brought it up in a previous episode, and it was our second structure fire for the day. And my dad's like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not pumping a goddamn truck. He goes to the back of the truck, opens up the cabinet, pulls out a pack. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, we're going to go fight a fire together. Something I haven't done before. I'm like, let's go. So being able to pull a ceiling with your dad next to you is by far the coolest fucking thing I've ever done in the service so far. So
yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Besides pulling a cat out of the tree with a deck gun. When we have my dad on, we'll let him tell that story.
Are you gonna actually like just surprise him again and be
Nope.
like, "Hey, guess what?"
Nope, he is legit gonna come on.
All right.
We're not gonna surprise him.
Well, this better not go over the air.
Oh well, it is. Sorry.
Sorry, Dad. Yeah, we surprised my dad. I called him. I was like, hey, I threw him a text. I was like, hey, can you call me in like 15 minutes? And just about the time he called us was about the time where I wanted him to. And he's like, what do you want? I'm like, hey, I need a – can you tell me a story real quick? He's like, why? I'm like, oh, for the podcast. This better not be going over the air.
That would be something my dad would say.
Oh well, it is.
It did.
That's the old school in them, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so box 1075 customs. Tell us more. Obviously.
So back in, like I said, about 2012, 2011. Actually, it was before then. Probably about 2010. I was buying leather helmets and stuff. Like I said, I've been a leatherhead since I joined the fire department. And I've always had a liking for the leather helmets, the way that they were made, and know that, made from hand, and just, cool shit. And, I'd get them for like decent price back when, they didn't cost $800 freaking dollars. I'd just buy them and paint them up, resell them, and, make $1 off of them. And I was like, hey, I can repair these things, make them look brand new. I was like, holy shit. So then, I started painting, flags on the bottom of the brims. And then, so a customer was like, oh, how much for that? And I'm like, $25. And they're like, okay. I was like, holy shit. So I did one, and then, people started seeing them. I started posting them on Facebook, and then, oh, how much for that? I'm like, $50. So, my price started going up more because I was starting to get a lot more detailed into them, a lot more work. Customers started asking for different things. So, you got, all your flags of, your Irish, Italian flag, American flags. Then I started doing subdued flags, OD green flags. And, then it just went. So then people wanted their names painted on the back. Then they wanted numbers painted on the back. So I'm like, oh shit, I could turn this into a business. So I went to DMV, I went and got all my DBA, doing business as, getting all legit paperwork and shit. And then I just started setting up, made a little shop, and started working on them, started setting them up how I would work on them, put them, here with, customers' names on them, take all their parts off, put it in the bin so I wouldn't lose all their stuff, or if they needed new parts, whatever the customer wanted, and it just it took off. It was huge. I was like, holy shit, this is pretty cool. I'm, made a business page on Facebook, and people just started blowing my shit up, and I'm just kind of overwhelming, actually. We went to, when me and my wife first started dating, we went to the Harrisburg Fire Expo down in PA. And, so we had shirts made up. So we're walking around with our business shirts on, and people are pointing me out and yo, there's Cooney. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, that's kind of weird. People know who I am. And I'm like, just from social media. And I was okay. So then I was just handing out business cards, and it just, like I said, so as of January 1st this year was when I stopped doing helmets. But it was a good ride, So 2012 to now, it was pretty cool. I've done some work for some pretty cool people. The ex-Stockton chief now, I don't know. I don't know if you guys knew that story, but there was Eric Newman. He was the chief of Stockton, California. And he actually flew out here to pick his helmet up for me that I restored for him. So to meet a big chief like that, it's pretty cool, for a big department. I've done work for MSA. So, well, FDIC didn't do anything. Obviously, it was shut down this year.
Yeah.
But so the last 4 years, I've done work for MSA Carnes for FDIC, I painted helmets for them to give out as awards for the top sellers in the country. So they would send helmets to me, and then I would custom paint them. So I do either a helmet that was American flag themed and Canadian. So they did like the top seller in Canada also. So my buddy of mine, he got me set up with Carnes, and he's like, yo, these guys might want to do work with you. I originally tried getting into their restoration portion of their business, but they didn't take any outsiders or subcontract to anyone. So I was like, all right, whatever. So then the guy got in touch with he was actually the production manager for the builds of the helmets. And he got in touch with me, and we started talking, and he's like, if I send you a helmet, would you, custom paint it for us for an award? I was like, sure. He's like, what are you thinking? So he told me it's got to be American flag based. So I was like, the entire helmet or a portion of it? He goes, you're the artist. I was like, okay. So then I did this one, and I painted the eagle on it, everything, and just made it it was savage. And the last 4 years I did business for him, and this year they chose to go a different route for the awards that they were going to do. So, which is fine. I mean, I'm not worried about it, but it was cool to actually say that, like, I got to paint these awards for these people that had the most sales. So,
and for the Super Bowl of firefighting, essentially.
Pretty much, yeah. It's like, the largest fire expo in the country, and, for the awards night, and people are like, oh, like, that's a pretty cool helmet. I'm like, yeah, I painted that, so it's pretty cool to say that. So, it's kind of like my theory, or how I feel on, like, the fire service. So, like, anything I do for the fire service, it's like, you look at some of these old timers that are, retired and whatever. They're like baseball players to me. Like, they're like legends. So I rather look up to them than a baseball player. So, I got, Bob Pressler, Rescue 3, retired.
Yep.
He actually brought his helmet to me that he wore back in the fucking war era. He's like, yo, you want to fix this up for me? I said, hell no. I'm like, I can't fix something like that. I said, I don't want to be rude to you, but I don't want to fix something like that. That's got a lot of history behind it, and he just laughed at me. But, I would feel bad, restoring a helmet like that, because, to me, that's got sentimental value. That's where your years of service was, all the fires that you went to, all the, just stuff like that. So it's just pretty cool stuff like that. The people that you meet along the lines, you got your basic, firemen here and there, and then you got some of these legends that are in the fire service, being that it could be FDNY. I hung out with some guys from Harrisburg, PA, from Squad 8, so it's just shit like that.
Yeah. And I mean, and when you say the war era, you mean when the Bronx was burning in the
70s? The war days, it's I mean, they get their fires, but back when the good ghetto fires were going on, that's the stuff that I pay attention to.
Yeah.
I mean, you get good jobs these days, but, like, you can sit there. I'm not the YouTube fireman, but I will watch old vintage videos all day long. And it's just, I actually, which is funny, but I got retired battalion chief Donald Haid, who is going to sit down and table talk with me soon. So I'm going to be looking forward to that. That's going to be a good day, because, his background is just huge, and to, a retired battalion SOC chief is, it's like the top of the line. So, they're going to have good stories, and those are the ones where you just sit there, listen, and you don't even ask. You don't talk. You just pay attention.
Yeah, you just sit there with your bowl of popcorn. I was actually just telling these guys earlier today. One of the guys I I would love to have on, and I would be like one of those moments like I'll just sit here and like this is Paul Hashhagen. I would just sit there and just whatever story he's going to tell me, I'll just let me hang on. I filled my notebook here. Let me let me get another one.
Here's a little story about him. I took a seminar with him a couple years back, and it was when it was the 100th or 100th anniversary of Rescue One, I believe it was.
Okay.
So he had a seminar down at the Rock, and me and a couple guys went down and just listening, and the same thing, like listening to stories. So, that one of the big things that actually that just comes to mind is what he said was, if you were called, we're all called buffs now, and like people like make fun of people, like call them a buff. Like if you were a buff back then, like you were the shit. Like, being called a buff back then was like something good, and I got the book on his whole spiel on Rescue One, how Rescue One was formed and everything. It's really cool. So he's one of the guys I actually got to meet and listen to, and like you just said, he's a down to earth dude.
Yeah. I was actually watching like a little snippet of getting salty, and they happened to have him on there.
Yep.
And they were like the legend, and he like kind of like looks around like looking for this legend. I'm like, you are the legend, and
Yep.
the way he just like brushes it off, he's just a guy.
Yeah.
But he's got some pretty fucking cool stories for
Absolutely.
just being a guy.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, when he retired as just a dude on the rescue.
He retired as a fireman.
Yeah.
He was never an officer or nothing like that. He retired as a fireman.
Yep. And I think he chose to be that, but because he loved being that guy. And if Travis and Mike, you guys ever get a chance to watch A Day in the Life of the FDNY, he is a huge feature in that movie, that documentary. I can't say movie.
Watched that like 5 times.
Yeah.
I think
You know how many times I've watched that one? Oh God.
That was the one with 252, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, just that story alone, how those guys, dealt with that shit a year later and just how that department just kind of dealt with everything. Oh shit, and the same thing now. I mean, with this whole COVID thing, the rookie class that was going through the Rock right now graduated. I don't even think they got a good chunk of anything going on, and they graduated them all because they need bodies on the streets, which is scary. Like
it's pretty nuts down there actually. One of our lieutenants is an EMT down in FDNY, and he's just it's bad down there. Our county where we are, it's pretty decent busy with it. We got a lot of cases and stuff, but it's turned the whole fire service around right now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
don't really want to get off topic, but it's just like so many procedures that you have to take now, when normally you'd just be getting off the rig and just doing what you normally do. Now it's just like, do I like us as like volunteers, like, do I want to go on this fucking call? Like, or I'm just going to stay home because like, do I take a chance? So it's one of those things that the way I look at it.
I mean, me and Mike, we went on a call the other night, and I actually thought about it. I was like, fuck, do I really want to go? But there's not that many people around. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And one of the EMTs that was riding the bus, and she was like, you guys got to put your gowns on. I'm like, the medic ain't wearing his gown. He's just got his mask on and gloves on.
We all heard that dispatch. It was a negative. Well, it was only
It was It
was one of those like, you have one of them, so yeah, you know what, sure.
Yeah, it was inconclusive at first, and then it became we don't know.
Yeah.
But just dealing with all that and shit is when 6 months ago we were worried about getting cancer on the job, and now we got to worry about contracting COVID and bringing it back to our families.
Absolutely. Yep.
And granted, kids they're asymptomatic. They can catch it, but they don't show any symptoms. They just go and pass it around to everybody.
Hey, guess what? You're sick now.
Right. And I mean, there's been two, from what I've heard, 2 5-month old infants have died from it. But when you stop to think about it, a 5-month-old doesn't have an immune system to even fight off something like that.
Their system's not fully developed. So if you think about it, with all these people that are saying 70, 80-year-old people that have a pre-existing something going on, it's the same thing as a 5-month-old. They're pretty much a pre-existing because they don't have the system, their system's not working to where ours is. So yeah, we had, I think, I don't know if it was the one down in FDNY where the one member's kid, I think it was 6 months old, that passed away from it.
Yeah. And actually in New Hampshire this past week, a 5-month-old passed away from it. It's like, Jesus. We can.
I saw a news article and it was something like FDNY EMS, like 24% of them have tested positive. It's like ridiculous how many have been getting sick just in the last like month or two alone, seeing all these just positive cases and deaths that have been happening. It's been crazy in the last couple of months.
We actually have a nursing home that's in our first due area that has 79 cases right now. So It's just like, fire alarm there. Nah, I think I'll just stay away from that.
I mean, it's the same right now. Our doctors contract out, to kind of keep themselves busy during the week. And one of we call them our facilities. They've gotten, I don't even know how many cases, but it's astronomical. And it's within city limits, so it's like, holy shit.
It's like, uh-oh, it's here.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's a pretty popular facility that, that city goes to, and it's like, fuck.
That's the town. Go ahead, John.
Nope, it's all you.
Well, I was just going to say, it's like the town I'm working out of mostly. There's 2 now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Senior nursing facilities. God, I struggle with that.
And one of them's a combination.
Yeah, and it's but that area is hot right now. You have to be, even alarm sounding, you have to be on air, masked up, packed up. Like, you're not going in with anything exposed in there.
Yeah.
And just today I was reading, we've got like 30 new cases in this state.
Yes. So it brings us almost up to, if not over 1,100. Can't wait to see all the emails when I get back to work.
Where's this out of?
So we're all out of Maine.
Oh, okay.
So we try to keep it vague. And so
areas. Yeah.
So Travis mainly works out of Cumberland County, which if you look at a map, it's Portland. He works out of Metro Portland.
Pretty much.
And we work out of York. Me and Mike work out of York County, which is the second largest. Nope, I can't even say that. So
it's like Cumberland County is the first because it has Portland in it, and then it might be like Kennebec County with Augusta. Yeah. York County is definitely like top 5 most populated counties because really the major cities are really just like
coastal.
Portland, Biddeford, Saco, Sanford, like Waterville, Bangor, and most of them are southern Maine, so like York and Cumberland County.
So actually, one of our old members, good fireman, he moved back home to Vermont, and then he actually got hired in Bangor.
Oh, really?
He's up there. Yep. So.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say like Gardner. I was like, hey, I know that guy.
Right? That'd be funny.
Yeah, he loves it up there. He's like, he's always wanted to be a career, and he wanted to get it back home, but Bangor called him up, and he's loving every minute of it. So.
Oh, Bangor is busy. I mean, not so much.
Probably
not so much now, probably, but without the virus, they are a busy metropolitan department. I can't remember, but they have to go mutual aid to the college that's like 20 minutes from there, which is UMaine Orono.
Yeah.
Scratching the eye there. But come on, fellas.
Words.
we can't carry it all. But
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I was also talking to a Portland guy at work. Some of their guys have come down with it, and I think if I remember correctly, because this is about a month ago now, basically a month. Some of the Portland guys have got it, and some of the Portland PD guys have got it.
yes, I knew the Portland PD. That was a huge news story.
Yeah.
When this first started hitting the state, but I didn't know any of the fire guys got it. But
I think he said fire guys. I think a couple of them. Like I said, I don't know if I'm remembering right because it's basically a month ago now, and I can't remember what I did 4 days ago.
You worked. You were moving your shit into your brand new station.
Yep, I worked.
Oh, yeah.
I worked. I think I slept.
That's pretty much me. My day off, and I've been running calls all day.
You had a pretty decent one by the sounds of it, but
we were busy all within an hour and a half. So our area, so we've been getting a lot of rain in the last couple of days, and we have the local reservoir that has. So where I work for our 911 center. I'm a dispatcher, so the DEP, DEC, whoever it is, DEP, the fish cops there, they call up at night and they give us all the, like, every hour whenever there's a lot of heavy rain that comes in. So we had like 2 to 4 inches of rain in the last like couple of days.
Oh shit.
So a lot of our creeks have been overflowing and starting to possible flood. So then you get all these dopes that go out in their freaking kayaks and their canoes and they want to go explore the damn trees and shit. So today we had that. So my department is the dive team for the entire county and the sheriff's office. So we have a huge heavy rescue that has all the dive equipment on it and also other shit. But so we got toned out mutual aid for dive call, water rescue for overturned canoe in a creek. Now one kept coming back and giving us updates that so 2 people they're stranded on Center Islands and 3 people, so there's total of 5 people, 3 onshore, 2 in the middle of the water. And so we were out there for probably a good 3-4 hours, guys on their wetsuits and everything. They rescued these people. It's just a mess because, sometimes it takes us a while to get to where we got to go since, where we got to travel. And luckily this one was not that far away. It was kind of a couple of neighboring departments over, but kind of not what I wanted to do today. I wanted to get some stuff done in my house. My weekend off, I work every other weekend. And I want to get some stuff done, but then we had, I think, 3 motor vehicle accidents at the same time. So we were pretty busy. It was a pretty busy morning. We were busy last night too. So we ran a couple runs last night, and so I think it was like probably about 12 runs since like 9 o'clock last night. So.
Some nights I wish for that, but
I love it. If I get to ride the rig, it's fun. I'm like still like a little kid. You get to do that shit. And I just had so much stuff to do today, and I had some shields I had to work on. I was working on them this morning, and the runs started coming in, and I was like, "Yep, there goes my day."
Never mind.
Yeah, I think I'll do something else today. Definitely not shields. So. Sorry, customers.
There was like a year there where I pretty much always drove on every single call, whether I was on shift or not, because at the time when I finally started living in the area where we work, I was one of the only people that actually could drive the engine that was on this side of town because there's 2 stations, and probably for like a year solid, all I did was drive and pump, which like at first I was like, oh, fuck yeah, man, this is so much fun. But then after a while, though, it's like, I would like to actually do something else. So I kind of started doing it. And then I was like, oh, thank God.
Another reason why I don't drive.
Yeah, it's like I got stuck being one of the, pretty much it was like 2 or 3 of us. And I lived so close, I always got there first. So I was just like, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, that's my problem.
After a while, it gets old.
I live like 3 blocks away from the station, and it's just like sometimes I'm like really glad I don't drive, because then I wouldn't be able to get to do anything.
Drive slowly. I'm gonna take my time this time.
Lucky for me, I live 10 minutes from my station, so by the time I get to the truck, drive the truck, I am probably the 5th dude truck, so I don't have to worry about ever pumping the damn thing. But I'll never forget. It was like 11:30 at night. We get called out for a structure fire, and I'm like, "Oh yes, I get to finally drive the truck." And I get the truck, and I'm like, "I really don't want to pump this fucking thing."
You're like, "Wait a minute,
I don't want to pump this." And I am hauling ass down this it's not even busy. It is just one of the main roads, and I am just winding the fucking queue. I'm like, you know what? If I'm up, everybody's up. Yeah. So I'm one of those guys. And by the time I get there, I had to pick up the lieutenant at the station closest to the fire. And all of a sudden I hear the chief go, "Just dead man the truck." I'm like, okay, I guess we're going in and playing.
Like, well, this is going to happen.
Yep. I was like, well, thank Jesus I didn't have to pump the truck. And then I actually had to pump the truck. And then I did that rookie mistake.
Wait a minute.
I did that rookie mistake. I charged the wrong hose line. I'm like, fuck.
Well, that truck's, I know which truck you're talking about, and it's a little weird because there's the 2 cross lays, and then there's like 2 dead loads on the back in the hose bed.
Yep.
And they have valves because it's a top mount. It has 2 levers, but then the 2 like coffin cabinets on the side have their own individual on the side. So I made probably exactly the same mistake you did one of the first times I pumped that. I was like, yeah, charge it. And I charged it 2.5 with foam and didn't realize it for like an hour once.
Yep.
And then I noticed when the hose bed cover's doing this, and I was like, oh, fuck, I'm that guy right now. Quickly opened the drain and just shut it down and pretend it didn't happen for a while.
And
then I was like,
the fucked up thing is, it was like a 55-degree night. And then I happened to be on shift the next day, and it was cold as shit. And I got we got to drain this fucking thing and repack it. So luckily enough for explorers.
See, we don't have those.
Yeah, where I work, I mean, there's the station I'm working out of now, mostly, there's a position where there's 2 towns trucks. There's
you share a station.
Tank 1 and engine 5. And it's between 2 towns, and there's a driver, swing guy driver for the other truck. And in the department I work in, you get on with your other guy, and you're like, hey, do you want to drive or do you want to ride? And whenever I get the option to ride, I'm like,
ride or die.
I'm a little tired of driving. I did a rookie mistake too. I tried to relay water with fucking 2.5.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
That was your first fire with that department.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought my thing was I thought my pony lines weren't gonna make it. I was like, I don't have enough hose. The LDH isn't gonna. They're not gonna reach. And I actually had a lieutenant next to me. I was like, should I? And he's like, oh, just go ahead and grab some 2.5. Relay through there, that's fine. And I went back to the station. I was like, shit. And the 2 senior guys like, don't worry about it, man. We should have asked you if you knew, if you were stable and you knew what you were doing. Like,
it's not even that you didn't know what you were doing.
Yeah.
It was your second day. It was either your first or second day with that department, and your first day driving, and it's like, shit.
Now there's a fire.
Well, when I first got on that department, I was scared shitless of the pump, even driving, because it's a bigger town. There's a lot more vehicles.
It's all good. It's a first. We've had kids on the show now.
She found me.
He's like, there you are.
Where's Dad? I think I know where Dad is.
What are you doing?
What are you doing then?
Okay. Go back upstairs, hon. She's too much.
But yeah, so circling back
Yeah.
to the again,
Back on topic.
yeah. So this is what happens with us if you
That's
listen.
fine.
We
I did the same
veer
thing.
off and we circle back.
That's fine.
So I actually.
I do that a lot when my wife gets annoyed with me. She goes, you really just got to stop talking sometimes. And I'm like, no. So that's my fault.
Yeah. Sometimes
It happens.
Sometimes
It was
it's
all
like,
vaguely relevant.
Yeah.
You don't make any sense half the time. I'm like, yeah, I know. So what actually started with the whole silver and gold leaf? Because not too many people actually handle it like you do. I sat and watched a video and watched you just tap it all in. I'm like,
so it took me like 2 years to actually like learn how to really do this shit. I started using like the fake stuff from like Michael's Crafts and I'm like just farting around with this crap and I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. But then like come to find out, I'm like, this stuff is like garbage. I'm like, well, duh, it's not real. So like I just started doodling around, like I said, farting around with this crap and just making some shields here and there for some buddies of mine. And then once like customers started really like coming to me like, hey, can you make this for me? Can you make this for me? So I started doing a lot of research on this stuff. Like, where do I actually like really got to buy this and find this stuff? So I use LA Gold Leaf out of California, hence the name. And like, so I started finding out like, okay, I use 23 karat gold leaf. So it's real gold leaf. I actually brought some shit down just to show you guys. I don't know if you really know, but so this is this damn light, but it comes in like this. It's a 3-inch, actually 3 1/8 by 3 1/8 square, paper thin, like super, super thin gold leaf. And, stuff disintegrates really, really super quick. And, so I like started laying it down, like using like the stuff the glue that you would get from Michael's Crafts. And I'm like I'm doing more research and I'm just like, all this other, how does this stuff lay on there? Like, what do I have to use? And I started talking to some other guys, Will from Gold Leaf Furnace. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. So he's been doing this for a while now. I have like 3 or 4 of his shields that he's made. And, he's a top-notch guy. Actually, his son, his younger son, I forget how old he is, but his son's doing it now too. He's like following in his dad's footsteps, and he's pretty good. He's got some good lines and stuff like that. But you look at some of these guys that have been doing it, forever. Bob Stella, 30, 40 years, he's been doing helmet shields. He does. I can't even tell you how many he does. When I order my shields from the guy that I get my blanks from, and he gets them from the same guy, he orders like 100 a clip. I'm ordering like 20 a clip, and those like kind of last me for like not like him. Like his 100 that he orders are all spoken for already. So like he's just been doing this for so long. He can bust out. He does all the shields for FDNY, all the battalion, any gold leaf for FDNY, he does. And you got, like I said, Will from Gold Leaf Furnace Pieces. He gets a lot of. He's based out of Pennsylvania, so he gets a lot of Pennsylvania people, people elsewhere. He's top notch too. He's another guy that I look up to that has done the trade. I started looking at other people, like not just shields in general, just like gold leaf. You got like Eddie May. Eddie May's, he's been, gold leafing for years. Fire trucks, all that other stuff. Greg Hager, I believe his name is. Another guy does fire trucks. He has like his own paint shop. There's a local guy, well, not local, but like same area as me, next county over. Nubs Graphics, he does silver, gold leaf, and stuff like that, and just airbrushing, custom painting, and all that. I've always, like I said, when we were talking earlier before, everything, I've always had the passion and the love for art. It being stuff I used to draw when I was in like second, third grade. Like I found pictures, like what I used to draw and like what I do now. I'm like, holy shit, like it's pretty wild. Like you get like the 2-year-old drawing versus the adult drawing. And so
there it is. There's the tone.
That's the medical. That's the EMS shit. But is it you just start like looking into all this stuff, and you do your research. It's fun. Like 2 years ago, I didn't think that I would be like doing like hand painting stuff, and the brushes that you got to get. There's certain brushes, short, thin ones, fat ones, all this.
Yeah,
it's just all different types of brushes to paint. Paint's a big thing. I use one-shot enamel. Some people use alpha core. My paint, it's like, I think it's like a pint or something like that. It's like $20 a can, but I got like, you saw my picture that I sent, my workbench, I got like, I don't even know, 20 plus cans of, you get all these different colors because people want all different things. Anywhere from in-service use or doing shields for like baby announcements.
I was just about to bring this up. I was like, oh man, because you don't just do, like I was gonna say, you don't just do, in-service shields. No, you do like
I do whatever. Yeah, I just finished this one. I had it down here drying. But I did this one for a guy. Where's the light? Get the light out of here.
There it is.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, it's just, he was like, hey, can you do like a, kind of like the birth of their kid. So I did that. And a buddy of mine that was actually an old ex-member of my department, he lives down in Pennsylvania now. His grandfather just passed away. And, my dad used to work with his father. My dad was also a 911 supervisor for his county. So this guy's father used to be a dispatcher as well. So he contacted me asking if I could do 2 identical shields, one for him and one for his father in memory of the grandfather who just passed away. So it's like cool things like that, that you get to like have the family like, remember. But let's see if these go out good. But
wow, Jesus,
really, really good.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep them identical and keep them going the same. It's cool. It took, like I said, it took me a long time to really learn how to do the gold leaf, lay it down the correct way, use the right stuff, use the right products. You don't. It sucks sometimes that you have to ask like some of these guys that have been doing it for years, what product they use, because like then they know that like you're trying to do these or whatever. And I try to maintain at least a talking friendship with these guys. Like I'm not out to steal anyone's business, because these guys have been doing it longer than I have. But I like doing it. I had like, I think 3 people messaged me this morning that were looking at getting shields done. But it's fun to do, laying the gold leaf down. Like you saw that video that I posted.
Yeah.
I throw music on. I get all my shields prepped of how I got to do it. And and then I just get them. I just start laying the stuff down and start brushing the stuff off. You see gold particles flying everywhere as you get it in your mustache and shit, and it's just the little golds, all over the place. But then got cotton balls wrapped with crushed velvet, and that's what makes the engine turns. That's what.
Yeah. That's what makes it do that.
Yeah. So like it took me a long time to figure out actually how to do that. Like I didn't know how to do it. I was like, do I do it this way? Do I do it that way? I had no clue. Started just watching videos on YouTube on how guys like would do it, and then I started doing it. I'm like, oh snap, that's pretty cool. So now I know how to do it. It's pretty cool.
I know the coolest thing on my old department, their old engine one came on a few years after I was born, and the guy who lettered that truck, he hand painted everything on the truck, the lettering, the town, the engine, but he also added, like, nobody asked him to do this. He's like, this would be freaking cool. And he added like some gold leaf to it. And I'm like, I've always been like interested in gold leaf. Like, I know I don't have the patience to do it, but I'm like amazed at people who can handle the gold leaf and just run with it.
And it's funny, like, just watching some of these old timers, and like all of our apparatus is all 100% true gold leaf. And the one guy that where we get ours through, we have all Seagraves. So our Seagrave dealer that's like an hour away from us. Once we get it from the factory, they bring it there, and then the guy that does all the gold leaf comes down to his shop, and he does all the hand paint and all the gold leaf and all that stuff. And this guy who makes sure like the floor is swept, vacuumed in his shop, and then he ropes the engine off, or the truck or rescue, whatever you got. Ropes it off so no one even goes near that area, because if any gold that kind of goes off the truck goes on the floor, he saves it, and you can reuse it. Little particles actually, little pieces that come off that you can actually reuse it for another thing. And it's because it's so paper thin that you can fill in little spots that you need to, and then you just brush it away and it kind of fills in and smooths out. You can smooth it out with your hands. And like you said, you saw me, tapping it on the shield. So that's right around where the stitching is.
Yep.
Like the little bracket, the bracket that goes behind the shield's got the two rivets on it. So like around those, or you tap it so it gets into all like the little crevices and all the little, creases. It's just something that you learn from some of the other guys. You watch them do it, and it just helps the gold get down into the thing, because if you don't and you brush it away, you're going to have like little spots, and then you have to go back with the gold leaf, and then you're going to have to, fill it back in, and, so it just saves kind of the work. And you're going to get that on some shields that, like, once you brush it off, you're going to see some little spots. You got to go back with, some other gold leaf and fill it back in and all that before you start doing the turning. So it's pretty cool though. I never thought that I'd be actually doing that. I never thought I'd be like hand painting stuff either. So. Right.
But you've turned it into quite the hell of a little business.
Yeah. It's fun. We're actually, it just got rescheduled, but we're having we're the host of our county convention this year for the parade, and we're actually don't want to really break too much out there, but hand painting 4 High Eagle gold leaf shields for awards to be given out for the parade. So it's going to be pretty cool. So it's kind of like the logo that we're doing and some of the other stuff. So I get to throw that mix in there. We were supposed to have the parade in July, but with this whole COVID crap, it got canceled and pushed up to a later date. So, but I've done, you can look, you see on my page and stuff like that. And that's, I don't have a website. I have Facebook and Instagram, and my personal Facebook is the only place where I post pictures. I don't do a website. I don't want one. I don't. I don't.
Yeah, it's
I get a decent amount of business just through where I'm at and word of mouth. I send out postcards and business cards to fire departments. I get their addresses and I just mail them information. And if they're interested, that's cool. If not, that's cool. I don't. You get on social media, you get some of these people that are, like that was another thing with the helmet business, and not to really bring back to that thing, but when I was doing the helmets, someone would like post in like a site and be like, where's a good place to get my helmet painted and all this other stuff. I'd let my customers throw my name out there in my business before I would I wouldn't comment on the post and be like, come to my business, I'll give you a great deal. Because I don't need to fight for the business. I don't need it that bad to where I need to just like push all these people out of the way. If they want to come to me, then they'll come to me. I don't really promote my business too much. Like I'll throw it on my business page or my Instagram and do it that way. But my Instagram is pretty much my personal Instagram. I don't really use it as a bit. It's just bullshit hashtags that people run with it, and they see my stuff and it's word of mouth. And like today, I just had a guy message me today that wants me to do one for his wedding. So, pretty cool. I did one for my wife's wedding. Instead of having a guest book for people to sign in, I got a brand new leather helmet, and I let people sign the helmet and use that as the guest book. And I did a custom shield for the front of that. So it was pretty cool. Different,
Yeah, definitely something different. Hey, Mike, keep that in mind for when you and Jess get married.
Have the helmet guest book.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, you and Jess are both in the service, so might as well, right? There it is.
Oh, there it is.
Oh,
That honestly is such a cool idea.
That front is badass.
That is awesome.
I even gold leaf the Borks.
Oh shit.
So it's just pretty, something different, something to go with the bar,
Yeah.
Get a brand new leather, and this is what I do with brand new leathers. People sell them and I keep them.
Or put them up on your wall.
My daughter has like 4 leather helmets and she's 3 years old. So this is actually one of hers right here.
Wow.
It's like a 1960s, because it's the only one that would fit her. But
Right.
It's like a 1960s 5A, size small. So last year for Easter, I got my daughter fire gear because she wanted it really bad. So I bought her fire gear and I found this helmet. I painted a gold leaf shield for trade for the helmet. So it worked out well.
Yeah. What do you got, Travis? You look like you got something rambling around in there.
No, I'm just taking it all in. Like it's just awesome stuff to see. And
to me, silver and gold leaf is like a dying art. It's like a lost art.
It
just
is.
like
You don't see it anymore.
You don't. You see the fake shit.
You do and you don't. It's you get a lot of it. So you get a lot of it in like the custom painting, like motorcycles and like stuff like that. Old hot rods, and you're still seeing a lot of it there with the pinstriping. There's a lot of the really old school guys that are doing it on fire apparatus that, they're going to get out soon, and there's really not that many that want to go back doing it, and that's like where you're coming in with like what you're saying with the lost art. It's not a lost art with the guys that are doing it for the hot rods, the car shows, the motorcycles, custom helmets and shit like that, but it's a lost art in the fire service,
Right.
where pretty much it kind of originated,
Yeah, and I think, what gets people like to shy away from it is because it's so fragile, and you got to have patience. And
that I don't have. That's why I'm kind of wondering, like, how the hell I'm doing this shit.
Well, yeah.
My patients are like.
Yeah. I mean, you fooled me. Watching you put that I think it was like 4 sheets of gold leaf, 4 squares of gold leaf on that shield. And I'm like, damn, this guy's got fucking patience of steel, because I couldn't fucking do that. I was just pissed.
There's times where I've screwed up and I'm like, fuck, I just wasted like fucking 4 sheets of gold leaf. I'm like, damn it, you know? It should cost money. It sucks when you screw up and you gotta fucking start over again. But it happens, you know. It happens to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. What do you got there, Mike? You look like you got.
I was gonna say, I think my biggest problem with everything is sometimes I'm so neurotic about shit, so I could see myself like the most minor imperfection and be like, nope, it's all trash. I got to start over like an hour in.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny part is before I kind of like set up like my little work area right now is with my old job, I would be like staying up to like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be working on some customer shields. I'd be working out like my dining room table, just set up like some area, you know, right there while I'm working at night, then clean up when I'm done. When I did it, like, it was like a year or two ago, and I was doing it. It was like on an evening, and we had a fire call, and so I left. I told my wife right from the get-go, said, watch the shield because I got paint out. So I come home and my wife was like, hey, yeah, so you're going to be pissed. And I'm like, why? Well, you might want to go look at that shield. So come to find out, my daughter was an artist. She got into the paint and she started fucking painting on the customer shield. So luckily, I cleaned it up to where I could lay down new silver leaf and kind of clean it up. But I was like, hold it in. You know, don't get too pissed off, because it's kind of my fault for leaving it out there too. Even though I told my wife to just pay attention to it. You know, my daughter was like a year and a half, 2 years old. So you gotta kind of go. You know, she wants to check it out and she wants to touch shit. So it was my fault. So she knows now not to touch it, but you know, she looks at all the stuff. She has all her other shit, but you know, she was like, "Daddy, you painting shields?" Yeah, I'm painting shields now. So she knows to just, you know, stay away from the stuff. But it was one of the funny stories of leaving your shit out and your daughter became an artist.
She wanted to be like Dad.
Yeah, start them early.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Did you hand paint that truck company Misfits sign, or is that just something that they sent you?
So that is actually another trade-off with one of the guys from Truck Company Misfits.
If you guys haven't listened to them, awesome. Like, pretty much like us.
So this is like 3D, like it's like all cut out and shit.
Oh shit.
So this guy, one of the guys that does the podcast, he
I've been staring at it for like the last like however long we've been doing this. I've been like staring at it. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. I gotta ask about it.
But he does like a side business, I guess, or something like that. And he there was a post that he put out, and I was like, you know, I'm like 100% like truck company shit. I can give two shits about engine crap. And I seen this thing, Truck Company Misfits. I was like, oh, that's pretty badass. Like, I like that. So I started messaging him and stuff, and we started bullshitting back and forth. And I was like, I said, how much to make me one of those things? And he's like, I don't know. So he started looking at my work. He goes, you want to trade a shield for it? I was like, fuck yeah. So he had this logo that he wanted me to do. It's for a pipe and drum corps, or a pipe and bagpipes thing. So I'm doing his logo on a shield, silver leaf shield, and we traded straight up. And that wasn't too bad of a price. Actually, my shield, I think, cost more. to do. So I just was like, yeah, I'll even swap out, So he got that done. His shield's in the process right now. Should have it done like next week. So he's gonna be pretty stoked with what he wanted. So I mean, I like that too. Sometimes it's not all about the money. Making on the stuff that you do. Trade-offs and stuff like that is pretty cool too. It's just it's different people and different lines of work. That do all cool shit like those other two signs that are back there, the wooden ones.
Yep.
A good buddy of mine. What was it? Old.
It's a goddamn campfire. That's all it is. I've been smelling a smoke condition for the last 50
Yeah,
minutes.
it's our neighborhood department. They got hit from a reported fire. We go there as a fast team, so.
Also known as RIT boys.
Yes.
Yes, fast.
I call it standing around watching shit.
The fast team isn't, if you listen to Captain Bobby Eckert, and I remember this, a fast team isn't really fast. They're just standing there.
So yeah, I mean, we do that a lot. That's our nom de plume. However, we are the fast team, RIT team for a lot of departments in our area. A lot of it due to we can staff and we have we can get out pretty quick for getting manpower. So, but back on the thing. So my buddy, if you look up on Instagram, Old Engine 7 Sign Company.
Yep.
So Dan Schultz, so he's a good buddy of mine. He's a big dork, but we do the same thing. We swap out. I do shit for him, shields or whatever he needs, or helmet work, and he makes me these hand painted signs. He does all on wood. So I got like, I don't even know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 8 or 9 signs from him and all that shit. So, yeah, he's another guy that he's a big into, the fire service and shit like that. So, I don't even know. We just trade off a lot of work. Like, I always sit there and say, "Oh, how much?" And be like, the deal. So like he don't want any of my money. It's some, like I said, sometimes it's not all about the money. It is good, but sometimes it's just about the mutual respect. Sometimes what people don't understand.
Yeah, it's about connecting with people too.
Yeah.
Some people you would never necessarily meet any other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of like this. I mean, we would never have connected with you. We would never have connected with Zuni. We would, there's just a bunch of things that I spend more time on the Truck Schmucks Instagram, just networking, connecting, and and that's what I love about this is.
Well, my big thing was like another, like with you guys, I dig the name, it's Truck Schmucks, and like I said, it's like one of those things that puts to me, it's like something to do with like truck company shit, and that's me, and that's how everyone knows me as. They all like bust my balls all the time, like we'll get like, if we get like a first 2 fire, reported fire, something like that, I'm riding on the engine. But they're like, "Oh yeah, well, you're a big truck guy riding on the engine." I said, "Yeah, but I'm still doing truck work off the engine." I said, "I won't touch a fucking hose." Every time I do, I'll fuck something up. So, so I try to just stick to my either searching or fucking opening up or something like that. And so it was like the big joke about that. And then, like I said, I saw your guys' thing pop up, and I saw the logo. I was like, "That's pretty savage," because like I have like fucking 10,000 skull tattoos on my body. So skulls are cool. And I saw that. And then I think I saw like the logo for the sticker or something like that. And like, I'm a bozo of fucking stickers. So I got 2 stickers just to put one on my cup and then one on my board that I have for where I do all my work on. So on my board, where I do all my shields and stuff, I have all stickers from all just different fire departments or people in the industry that deal with anything like with fire service stuff. So, you guys are really right
which
there.
I have seen this workbench, and I love where our sticker is placed. So we all know about Captain Danny, about going in and saving the old lady, and he got his ass reamed by the powers that be, and I think in Atlanta.
Yep. Well, the former.
Yeah, the former captain.
He left there, so he's no longer there anymore.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. He's actually going to be on Getting Salty the next episode, so
that's awesome.
They're going to be interviewing him.
So that's where our sticker is. There is a picture of a leather helmet with a 16 on it, and it has hashtag Danny will go. And I was like, I'll take our sticker next to that sticker any day, because you're damn right. If there is somebody still fucking alive in that building, my ass is going in, because that is exactly what our fucking job is. To protect lives and property, not fucking the bean counters down in City Hall.
Well, that's a lot where hence the title of this thing, even though we're talking about shields, but it's the lost art. This is where, the fire department and shit that, some of these people that get in the office, they really shouldn't be in office, because, I think
Settle down. Don't go. Hang on. Mike, calm down.
Oh, I'm fine. I know you saw the smirk, but
I did.
Did I do something bad?
No.
No.
We
it's on the same subject as what you were talking about.
So just to kind of briefly go over it, we have a group chat, and a lot of it is a lot of venting about exactly this topic.
Among other things,
calming each other down when we're having a rough day. But it's exactly that. There are some people who are in officers' positions that shouldn't be in officers' positions.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, they ended up there. That's not for me to say.
It's all, and my dad always told me that, it's like, if you don't know politics, wait till you join the fire service. Because I think politics is probably one of the biggest things with politics is in the fire service, and being volunteer or career, and it's a shitty thing, because I know me, and I like I said, I don't know you guys too well, but just from talking with you guys, the love and passion for the fire service, you got a lot of them people out there that like you talk about. Like Bobby Ecker, he's huge on the fire service. I've had the chance to actually meet him a couple times down in Harrisburg. And funny fucking dude. Like,
fucking hilarious.
Him. I was an out-of-state volunteer for a little bit. I didn't really do much because it was an out-of-state volunteer, but down at Squad 8 in Harrisburg. I went down there a couple weekends, but I think every fucking weekend that I went down there, it's like we didn't run shit. So, I don't know if you guys have heard or seen of Skull, Jeff Skull Miller with Squad 8. He's now a lieutenant on the truck. Fucking hell of a fireman. Dude, is just a fucking savage-ass fireman. Great fucking dude to hang out with, too. I've going out to his cabin with him and fucking shotguns and shit like that, bring my firearms down and shoot, and just a fucking downright fucking kick-ass dude. And you got other guys that are out there in the fire service that a lot of people don't really know of, but some of these departments out there too, they just look at them and they're like, this and that, but actually these departments are fucking good. A lot of people look at just the big name departments, but you get some of these other little city departments or something like that run a shit ton of jobs. Like Christiana runs a shit ton of fucking fire. Harrisburg, they've been running a lot lately.
Yeah, and I think they were just the subject of a video where I can't remember but it was a fucking raging fire. There was smoke pissing out of every fucking hole you could think of in this building, and you see these guys just fucking bailing out. Second floor, they were. I think it was there.
Yeah, it was Harrisburg. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I was right.
So it was probably the 3-story. Probably looked like the Victorian style house.
Yeah, that's the one.
So So if you watch Skull, the guy I was talking about, he had his helmet cam. He's they were a second due truck, but they already had guys in there, and they're searching for the fire. I think they had reported people trapped. So when they got into the first floor, and they started, people were making their way out, and I believe one of the people that were living there said that everyone was out of the structure, but they were trying to locate the fire. It was kind of like a weird layout of the house. They were trying to find the actual access to either, I think it was like the third floor or like the attic, and they couldn't. It was like a little fucking hole in the wall closet to get upstairs into this attic to get to the main body of fire, and fucking smoke is just chugging out. And next thing you know, you got these dudes fucking bailing out and shit onto a balcony, and then you got one dude hanging out the window, and you see the chief down there, Brian Enterline, who's a fucking hell of a chief. He's a chief for his guys. Like like I said, I got the chance to meet him too, and he's a chief. Like he gets his hands dirty, and he's there fucking throwing a ladder with these guys to get his guys out because he cares about his men's safety as well. But he also knows what his men can do. He's not like Nervous Nelly over here. At least from what I know of him. I can't really like talk too much on him, but
right. And and I don't know if you guys have been to Harrisburg, PA. I have. Also been to Hershey, and you would think that these big departments, these big cities are full-time departments. Nope, not at all. Nope, they're straight up volunteer. And
Harrisburg is a career department.
Is okay.
So they are a career department. So they got what is it? Engine squad, 2 towers. Where they got a tiller, they got a tower. I can honestly say, like, just from meeting these guys and hanging out with them a little bit, you got some of the captains that are now up to chiefs and all that stuff. Jason Lloyd, he's a hell of a dude, and he also has Allison Hook and Ladder down there. Bought a firehouse, one of the old firehouses. Bought the old tiller, 57 Mac tiller, I think it is. Restored it. These guys do look it up and look at the shit that these guys have done to get, like, the fire service is like in their blood down there. Like, they do a lot of events, a lot of raising money for shit. They're bringing this firehouse back to what it used to be back in like the fucking 40s, 50s. I think probably earlier than that. Just, it's smack dab in the middle of the fucking ghetto. But these guys are 110% firemen. They eat, sleep, and breathe it, but they're good. They're good firemen. And, you get some people, they're all right, but no, these guys are good. And when they get on the job, to the calls and everything like that, they do their work. They know what they have to do. And, a lot of the fires that they go find the fire. They're not pussies.
They're not being micromanaged. They get off the rig and they go to fucking work.
But they're captains that are on duty, or they're battalion chiefs, or whoever. They're the guys that are in charge. They know what their guys can do. They're not going to sit there and if they feel that they don't think they should be in there, then that's a different story. They'll pull them out. And that's honestly that's what my department too. We have, for a volley department, like I said, we're the busiest in our county. So the chief that's in office now, he was the assistant chief for a long time, and then he got in as the chief, and I think it was like the first of the year when he got in. It was like 3 years ago, and we had a fire right down the street from the firehouse to a strip mall, and we literally, like, me and another guy, we're out on a run, and we're on a fucking medical. I think it was like a lift assist or some bullshit. And so we're out there, and then all of a sudden, our 911 center comes back and says, we're getting a second call in the district for reported fire. So we heard where it was. I was like, oh shit. So we left, and we let the ambulance agency handle, because we don't have an ambulance or nothing like that. So we just do just me and
first response.
Yeah. So we have EMTs and all that other shit. So we're out there, we're assisting and all this crap, and then we get the call for a report of fire. We hear the one assistant chief, get on the scene with heavy smoke right out the front. We're like, fuck. So we have to pass the scene to get back to the firehouse. So we only have this mini rescue. So we get on the radio and we get to Chief. We're like, Chief, you want us to come to the scene, or you want us to go back to the firehouse and because any commercial fire for first two in our district, we have 2 tower ladders. So they're on the assignment. So the initial tower ladder is on the assignments, but we have an old Mac CF tower ladder that we still use, and it's still on the assignment. So it's on a commercial assignment. So it was a commercial building. So we went back. He goes, no, go get the second tower. We're like, fuck. So we literally, as we're driving past the scene, we see dudes making entry and shit, and the fucking smoke is chugging. Now we're pissed because we got to drive past. So we get back, and, to go back, just kind of what I'm going at is, with our department, we have 80, 90 people on paper. We had 64 guys of our own at that fire. For a volunteer agency, that's fucking, this day and age for a volunteer agency, pretty good.
That's huge.
And it kind of ties into a topic that we really want to talk about, which is recruitment and retention.
Yeah.
And I want to know the secret. I mean, we have a department around our area, and it's actually one of our mutual aid departments. They literally have to beat, not literally, but figuratively, they beat people off the trucks just to go to a fire.
Oh, that's us.
And a wires down call, they have to beat people off the truck.
6.
Exactly, a wires down call, and they're on 6.
Yeah.
So we had, so just for instance today, so I think we have 12 or 14 guys on our dive team. So that's just divers itself, and then we have tenders as well. So I probably have to say we had probably close to about 20 members for the dive call today, just for that. And then, I don't know, probably on 3 accidents that we had at the same time, we probably had about another 10, maybe 15 there also. So it's not bad. A lot of people, some people are away camping and they're out of town for the day. So, our daytime, we struggle a little. We're not struggling, but we can still get an engine and truck, right off the floor with a full crew. We'll get 5, 6 guys on each rig. A mutual aid structure fire, good fucking luck. I'll tell you that. Good luck to go down there, because if you don't have a scanner at home, or if you're not in a group chat with certain people that are we call a buff chat, you hear a department go out for report fires, and if if you're on your mutual aid assignment, and if you don't if you don't get over to the firehouse before they hit a second alarm, you do not have a spot on the rig. You do not. You have no fucking chance at all. It's we're usually, as the second alarm's going out, and if we're a mutual aid engine or truck, we're calling out, responding when the tones are going off. And my job where I work, they fucking hate it because they tell them to wait till the tones are fully through. But we can staff. We can get the membership. Yeah, guys, I want to go to fires. It's just what we like doing.
Something unheard of.
Not entirely.
I hate the shit on our department because this is not, and it's going to sound like I'm doing that, and it's really not. And I've brought it up multiple times. The thing that irritates the shit out of me is it's station coverage. Yeah, I get it. Everybody wants to go to the fucking fire and do fireman shit, but at the same time, when they're calling for us to cover another station,
depending on where we're going too. you usually get moved up.
Right.
Or how bad the fire really is, because you could be diverted. Like, they'd be like, okay, no, forget station coverage, just come on down, we need you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like that's the mentality you have to have is we could be going to this freaking job. The huge fire that I know I've talked to you guys about, that Alton fire, that's exactly what our initial assignment was.
Yeah, hey, your station coverage. Never
We're
mind.
station coverage. We're going to cover the station that the call is actually in. And my dad's like, bullshit, we're going to this fucking call. And literally we were like 15 minutes from the station and they bumped us up to the scene. And it's like, my dad's like, I fucking told you, fucker, so. And he's just.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't really, there's some guys that, you'll hear, look, I want to go fucking stand by in someone else's firehouse. Well, the way I look at it, they're calling you for a reason. They're asking you for your help, so you might as well just give it to them. And don't bitch, because like what you just said, you might end up getting to the scene somehow.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't look at that. Me, it is what it is. If they want you to come stand by with an engine, stand by with a truck or whatever, do it.
And who knows?
You signed on a dotted line for. You signed on a dotted line to be a fireman.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're doing standby or if you're going to the scene or whatever.
No, you only signed up for the shirt and to do the fun stuff.
Oh, fuck that, man. I signed up to fucking serve our community. But
we get the t-shirt fireman,
you get the cool t-shirt and a cool helmet.
They don't last long. What guys that, so we only do entry of 2 times a year. So we do January and July. So those are the only times that you can apply to be a member with our department. And you get the guys that are going to come in. What guys are going to do work. What guys are going to do shit. And what guys are going to be there. Oh, cool. I just got a t-shirt and
I got my pager.
Yeah, and I want to come up. I'm gonna come to the firehouse and hang out and have free food and all this other shit. So how long those guys are gonna last, and they don't really last too long. So, you get to some of these other guys that come in and like when they're there like every day and they're like checking the rigs out, knowing where all the shit is, and they're gonna do good. So,
yeah. I mean, we have a couple of explorers like that. I mean, this whole fucking COVID thing kind of screwed them over and some other shit. But, we actually had 2 explorers. They were literally down there. Every time they knew I was on shift, they were down there. Or when I wasn't on shift, they were down there because they wanted to learn the job.
Yeah. So
I would have to give them here, go check these guys out, funnel there. So you're not down here all the time.
We had a guy, we had a couple, in the past, but speak on one right now is he started hanging out before he became a member. Like he was hanging out at the firehouse, trying to get to know people. That's what I did with the department I'm at. So where I came from, I met these, guys where I'm at now, and, came over here, started hanging out with them and getting to know them. And I was like, this is a pretty cool fucking place. Like, I definitely want to be a member here, the training, busy wise, just the apparatus, everything. Like it's just we got nice shit. We keep our shit nice. We have the pride, the tradition, everything. The training's great. So why not, who wouldn't want to be here? So, I ended up moving from where I lived. I got an apartment over here, became a member, and I've been here 8 years now. At this point, so I got, I'm going on 16 years in the fire service, but 8 years with this department, which it seems like it was yesterday just coming over here. But yeah, it's, you get your bullshit. You get, you're in a firehouse with 80, 90 guys. Everyone has a different personality. You're going to deal with that. That just happens. But you get your ups and downs, but it's still a great place, still where you want to be. You're gonna run. We run like I said, like 1,500, 1,600 calls a year, and it's pretty decent for a volley department, in this area.
That's busy for a volley department. And
yeah, you get departments down south that are running, like PG County. They're running.
I was just about to bring them up.
They're always a good example.
But that's the example that you have to use for them because they're running 3,000-4,000 fucking calls a year. But they have living members, living staff. We respond from home. We still do that old school. Your pager goes off, or you're at, or you hear the siren, and then you're still responding from home. So we have that. That's us, But we have a very, very large commercial district. I think we have probably the largest commercial district in our county, and it's just, if you saw it today, it was a fucking mess. I think it was such nice weather. I think everyone decided to come outside and have their heads up their asses and either crash their cars or fucking be stupid. So it's what happened. That's a big one on town.
I mean, all the insurance companies are saying it. Just because nobody's out driving around, everybody's like, "Oh, this is a fucking good time to speed," and they're fucking just being dumb.
Zoom.
Kind of like what we're using, but you kind of hit on it a little bit there. There is a pride, tradition, and culture.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that is gone. Everybody forgets that and focuses more on the fucking politics. I could give two shits about politics. I'm here for the fucking pride, culture, and tradition of the fire service. That's the reason why.
Yeah, and then you get some of the guys that they see that you have the drive, the passion, the love for the job, and they're like, "All right, settle down, nerd," and they give you relentless shit for being.
Or they perceive it as
there is nothing bad with loving the job. That's the thing. I can't wait to buy that sticker. I'm going to find out where I can buy that sticker, and I'm going to fucking buy it because there's nothing wrong. Because I actually posted it. Speaking of the truck company Misfits, they actually did an episode. Their first real episode was about loving the job, and there is zero problem with loving this job. Yes, this job you can love it all you want, and it will, like I said in the last episode, it will bitch slap you and laugh and give you the finger running the other way. But I will take that fucking bitch slap any day of the week because I love this job. I loved seeing it when my dad and grandfather were on the job. And luckily enough, I actually got to fight fires with both of those gentlemen. Well, not fight fires with them, but be at the same fire with those two.
Yeah.
It was fucking amazing. But that's what I love about this job is, my grandfather fought the... Go ahead.
I was told that it's kind of funny. I'm not really going to mention of who the person was, but I was told that I had too much pride. And I kind of about fucking shit myself when the person that said it. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because, it was like a post that I put of our apparatus and, just something like that. And then the person's like, you just show too much pride. I'm like, how the fuck can you show too much pride? You come to the firehouse, you do your job, you get on the apparatus, you do what you're supposed to do, you come back, you clean the apparatus, you wash the rigs, you do all this stuff. That's where the company pride comes in. You got I can literally say in our firehouse, we have 2 stations, but in our main headquarters, we literally probably have $5-6 million worth of apparatus in there. Shit ain't cheap.
No.
You gotta, and especially with the amount of time that they run, you got to maintain this shit. You want to have it. You got to show your pride. You show your pride in what you have. It's like you have one of your stupid Fast and Furious cars and you fucking clean that up and go to car shows. That's your pride. My pride is watching the apparatus to show what we have. So that's the way I look at it. And being told that I had too much pride, it made me giggle.
I will say this. And about a year ago, March 1st of last year, we actually had a line of duty death in the state of Maine. And the one thing that caught me when I was covering that station this year during his memorial ceremony is they all talked about how much pride he had. Literally, there is a picture of this captain. He was a fire captain, but he was one of those fire captains that he was just a guy. To me, he just kind of, just whatever the fuck. It's just a fucking title to me. And he was out there. It was a rainy ass day, and he's out there buffing the rig. Who does that in the fucking pouring ass rain? I mean, you guys know the picture
People
I'm talking about.
care.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And that was something to me that Joel did. He just loved the job, and he cared about his guys first, and he cared about the job. He cared about the pride and tradition. But, unfortunately, I never got to meet him. But from what I've learned from him in the past year, he was one of those dudes that I would fucking sit down and have a beer with. I know you guys probably knew him a lot better than I did, but
I had never met him.
But Bagels.
First time I met him was that fire, unfortunately.
But yeah, there was, we've had one of our lieutenants. He worked with him, and they were always trying to get him, from what I understand, try to talk him into at least working a shift with our department, because he was just that fucking cool of a guy, and he was just he was job smart. He was street level, like Bobby always talks about, street level firefighting smart. And he was just that type of dude, which fuck that we unfortunately there's not that many guys left in this job.
Yeah. No, it's because the people with the shitty attitudes bleed it out of them.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like, I'm disgruntled with this job. I haven't gotten anywhere because it's all because of them, and I don't ever do anything wrong. Well,
because those are the people that look for the paycheck.
Yeah.
The paycheck's good, but like you said before, you gotta love the job first. It's.
I get a lot of pride. Everybody shits on me because I like station coverage. I don't give a shit. For a second there, I'm part of that community.
It's something to do.
It's something to do. And when we cover the city that I live in, I'm like 9 times out of 10, I live 5 minutes from the assignment that we're going to. I'm like, I'm covering my community with the department that I'm on.
Yeah.
I actually said it to one of the lieutenants. I'm like, I get a lot of pride coming to these calls. And she looked at me and she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I live in this community. I live in this community. So the fact that I can't serve this community on your department, I'm serving it on this department. And I love it.
My firehouse, it's nothing like really to brag. I mean, it is, but we carry a name, with our department. We're known. People look at us to screw up. They look at us they're waiting for that time for us to fuck up, but we don't, because we feel that we're good. That's where our training comes into play. That's where, from our chief down to the lieutenants of our line officers, the training that we have, that they put to us, the respect that we have. Our community loves us. We do a lot of things with our community, and I think that I'm at my firehouse more than I'm at my house sometimes. Sometimes it's just like, there's times when my wife will text me, hey, you coming home today sometime? It's like, yeah, sorry, but it's a second home to a lot of us, because there used to be where I would come home from my old job. I would stop at a firehouse first before I'd come home to see my family. It's one of those things. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, it's around that time, 5:30 in the evening, that, oh, we're bound to get hit for a call. Once we get hit for that, we're bound to get another call. Like, we will get like a back-to-back call, like, a lot. It's just the nature of our department, of how we run. It's just, it happens to go that way. And going back to kind of like where you like to run, even just to stand by for station calls, stuff like that. We got called last winter to a mutual aid department. They had a working fire. and they asked for 6 interior guys to come assist with them for overhaul. And so we got there, and we helped them out. We pulled a lot of shit just to get us to wet this fire down and go home so they can go home. It was in the wintertime. It was fucking colder. It was, I mean, probably not your guys' cold winter, but it was cold here. We get back to the firehouse like the next day, and like one of the guys was like, "Oh, did you have fun out there?" I was like, "Actually, yeah." It was like we were fucking joking around the entire time that we were pulling ceilings and shit. Yeah, I fucking knew that what it was all about. I didn't want to go. I was like, okay, no one said you had to go. But like, just like the stupid comments that you made. I was like, so he was pretty much like, I'm better than that. Like, I don't need to go do overhaul. Fuck that. Who cares? They asked for help. You're gonna give it. That's the way I look at it.
It's called mutual aid for a reason.
Yeah.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's just how that works. And that's kind of where I was going with that soapbox earlier. Is it pisses me off when it really chapped my ass. And we're a volunteer department. I get it. But at the same time, when people are home and
they're listening,
and they're listening, and the night before they came to our structure fire, and now they're asking for our help. Motherfucker, get off your ass and let's go. Well,
what they don't take into consideration is even if you get to the station, you've got a shitty attitude. The members of the department you're covering, they see that.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why you always go to fucking station coverage. I mean, there is a mutual aid department. I don't know the workings of it, and I don't like the way this working goes. But we're third alarm station coverage, and we have to go past the fire to fucking go to the station. It's like, let's fucking work on that relationship. I don't give a shit if we have to work on ourselves first. We have to work on that relationship. There shouldn't be a time where the public is
drive by the fire.
Drive by the fire, and the public is driving into our fire station and be like, there's a fire down the street. You can go. We can't do anything, lady. That's sorry.
Yep.
That's actually happened. That actually happened before COVID happened. Like the day before COVID happened and all the restrictions got passed down to us. It's like this lady like hauled ass into the station. It's like, hey, there's a fire down the street. And I'm like, yeah, we know. Well, why aren't you going? We can't go.
That's not why we're here.
That's New Hampshire. This is Maine. We can't do anything, lady.
Yeah. That's and kind of how our, we always made the joke. So like how our district is, like literally like 3 blocks away from where my house is like the city. We call it the city line. So that's the career department. That's our neighbor department. That's their first due. So obviously we can't go unless we're called mutual aid. But we have to drive through their district to get on the other side of town where our district is. So it's so funny, we make the joke of like when we're on like we're returning, like we're all sick and fucking twisted in the head and like it's like, oh, I want to go to a fire, So it's like we're on it, like we'll just joke about it on our way back like to the station, and we're coming through like their first two area. I'm like, man, I wish they just fucking hit for our house right now. And like, we're driving past and we'd be like the first ones there to take it in and just lay a line in and just fucking put their fire out just to bust balls, I know we'd catch so much shit over it, but it's just a joke that we make. But, we have to go through their district to get to our district on the other side of town. It's just the way it goes. But, we just make those jokes all the time of just like, I wish it was from fucking happen. But like you say, yeah, it sucks because like right where that is, you guys could be fully staffed at the firehouse and like there's a fire down the road, but it's not your area. You can't do shit about it.
This fire, we were legitly fully staffed, 2 in, 2 out, and we could see the smoke column from the fire station. And it's like, come on, you guys are like 2 minutes away.
What is it now? You're like on the, I think you said it before, you're the third or the fourth alarm?
Yep. We're in the third or fourth alarm station coverage.
On the
because
far end of the city.
Yeah, because, that city got tired. They're like, unless you can give us an engine that's fully staffed, don't bother.
Exactly.
Because they used to call for, like, way back in the day, like decades ago, they used to call for that department. And they wouldn't really get anything.
Right. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I had something and I fucking lost it because I went on a soapbox. But you know, it's just shitty that politics have to play a fucking role in the fire service. Like, you go in, you get fucking dirty, you get a little soot on your mustache, and you fucking go home.
Well, a lot of it is there's always politics and everything, but the problem is when it's down to the lowest level. Usually it's your chiefs that have to play politic man, as I say. They got to go play politic man
They're the
to
buffer. They're supposed to be the buffer.
jurisdiction and everything. But yeah, they're supposed to separate it. The biggest problem is when it filters down to everyone else. Like, there's certain shit you should never have to see as a line guy. And when you start seeing it, that's a problem.
Yep. I mean, kind of.
I can honestly say, our chiefs, they don't play that fucking role. They don't play that political role. You know, it's, you know, there's other.
We're here to work.
And that's the thing, you know, we have out of 4, so we have a chief and 3 assistants. 3 out of 4 of them are working chiefs. Like, they will go to work with us. They will be in the fire with us. You know, the other one, you know, that's his choice. He'll be outside. He'll run command, and that's fine. You know, he chose that. But the other 3 are, you know, they'll be right alongside of us, fucking having that shit right over our head, pulling ceilings, doing whatever, and you know, that's us. You know, we're known for, you know, the way I look at it is we get called there and we're the last ones working. You know, we're the last ones finishing up, mopping up, and everything. And you see some of these other departments, like you get one guy that's like been through maybe a bottle or even a half a bottle, and they're like out on the front lawn, like they just fucking battled
ran a marathon,
fire, you know, and their worst fire in their life, and it was like a fucking bedroom fire. And you know, we get there, and there's actually times where like we like sit there, and some of our guys, we just sit there and fucking joke around while we're in there fucking putting the fire out. You know, got shit rolling over your heads, or you know, we're pulling ceilings or doing whatever, and we're like fucking joking around with each other, you know, inside. Like, people are looking at us like, what the fuck's wrong with these guys? But that's just us, you know. We you know, I remember the one fire is me and 2 other guys were on the first floor. His fucking house was rocking, and I didn't want to be like the bitch and be like, you know, man, my legs are fucking burning, you know, what the hell's going on? So I let one other guy say it first, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, my legs were like burning up, and I was like, oh, good. I said, I thought I was the only bitch in there. We didn't know that we were like standing on like it was a burned out couch that was just like the springs and shit to the couch or whatever, and like we could just feel the heat coming up like through our legs and stuff like that. But we didn't know it. We were just in there working and just, you know, not really paying attention, being nonchalant about shit, and we just started joking around inside. Like, you know, I was like, oh, good, you were the bitch, not me. Like, you know, just shit like that. How we are, you know. People make fun of me, like, you know, the first fire, like I gave up my line because I farted around. I couldn't get my fucking mask on. So they still bust my balls about that. You know, like, oh, fucking Coon couldn't get his fucking mask on. So I took the line. I was like, yeah, but it never happened again, you know. So, but they know that I won't, you know, with the volunteer service, you know, you ride on every rig. You know, you don't really have an assigned rig. At least for us. And we have riding assignments, you know, so where we sit. I try to tend not to really sit in the lineman seat. I know a lot of guys are like, oh, that's where you want to be the fireman, you know. Like, yeah, I said, you know, real firemen ride the fucking truck, you know. Engine guy, that's cool, you know. Anyone can pull a hand line, you know. It's just that engine truck fucking battle that everyone has, you know, where they bust each other's balls, and they bust my shit. And you know, we had a trailer fire one day, and a fatal fire. I had the line, stretched the line, started going, made it to the front door, and just shit was bottlenecked at the front door, people getting in. So I'm all messed up. I'm getting ready to go in, and the one guy was like right there. And like I said, people were bottlenecking right at the front door. So I was just like, fuck it. So I just gave him the line. The smoke's chugging right out the front door. Fire's in the back of the trailer. So we started making. So I finally got through it. I'm making my way in, and as I'm going in, I fucking need the guy. The victim. It was like probably 10 feet in, 12 feet in, and I got the victim. So I handed off the line. I found the victim, got the victim out, started fucking doing our shit. The outcome was shitty, but maybe like I said, you pass off the line, you did something else, you got you did your job, what else you're supposed to do. So no one takes we don't take any credit. We don't sit there and look for that old fucking pat on the back bullshit, because that shit right out the door with me. I could care less about that. You put me in a spot where you want me to do. You want me to go on the roof, cut a hole. You want me to take a window. You want me to pull a backup line, whatever. That's it.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't know why, but I've only been on one department where there's actually been a tower truck, an actual ladder truck. But I've always been.
Well, what do you consider a ladder truck?
This had a ladder and a bucket.
Did it have water on it?
It did not. There was a pump on it, but no water. There was no water tank. But there was a pipe on it. But we used it as exactly that, a ladder truck.
Yeah. So that's how ours is. If you're on the engine, you're pretty much set up. So, this seat is a lineman seat. There's entry, there's backup, and then there's layout and shit like that. On the truck, there's a hook and a can. There's entry. There's OV, and then there's ladders. So if you're on the ladder truck, you're doing truck shit. You're not doing engine stuff. So
yeah.
We are broken down like that. We just don't have
assignments.
Like I'm not strictly going on the firehouse to ride the truck. Like I will ride the engine or whatever stuff like that. So some other we have guys that we don't really fight over the seat. If you're in that seat, that's your seat, and that's what you're going to do. That's the job that you're going to do. You know what you have to do, and you do your job.
Yeah, I will say this. When I came back, there was definitely a switch from the moment I entered the fire academy. My mentality was different. But when I came out of the academy, I was fucking so truck oriented. I was like, I want to go in, I want to break shit, I want to fucking put holes in shit and do a lot of searches. Because we had a mix of a lot of engine rescue ladder from the big city of Manchester, New Hampshire. That was the core of our cadre of instructors. And I was like, fuck, I want to go in, I want to fucking search, I want to fucking do truck work. And I loved it. And the day that we had combined ops, I made sure that my crew was constantly on truck ops, but they kind of figured it out. And they're like, no, you're going to go in and pull a line and you're going to fucking put the fire out. But I fucking love truck work. I had a helmet front with a red one on it, and I wanted to fucking put a carrot top on it, on my helmet. And they're like, no, don't do that. But I wanted to do it, and I mentioned that in the previous episode. But I fucking loved being on the truck.
Yeah, I mean it just sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but like anything with us, like like I said, I live so close, so it's like, we do the engine first, truck, second piece out. So I'm usually on the, like I said, guys are busting my balls because I'm always riding the engine, but I'll always just grab like a Haugen and a fucking hook and just fucking, I'll do like some kind of truck shit. Or if we go mutual aid with our engine tanker, however you want to go with it, if that's going to a mutual aid fire, we're using that for water to help the mutual aid department out, and then so our guys are pretty much either going to be using a line off of someone else's rig, or we're going to be doing truck shit. So we just they're calling us from like manpower and then water. So that's what our engine for. That's what we use that for. But I don't. I'll do engine shit if I have to, but I'd rather do truck shit. It's just I like searching, searching and figuring out different ways to force entry. Force entry is a big thing with me. I like doing it. I like finding different ways or making different tools to figure out how to get through stuff, and it's pretty fun.
I remember. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, I was gonna say, the last department I was on, I would really only jump on the engine because it would get there first. It was kind of they really underutilized their tower truck there, and it was kind of a meme in the department that like it wouldn't get called or wouldn't actually make it to the scene. So I was like, I can either wait and actually get on the tower or actually go to the call. But my thing was always I'd grab a 6-foot New York hook and the water can, and that was my thing. That's what I usually did.
I always tell people that true trucks only have like 5 gallons of water on it. So you get the 2 cans. So
yeah,
and that's the thing. Like, I actually remember what I was going to say. Going back to way back, and everybody wants to be a fireman until it's time to be a fucking fireman.
Yep.
And I know Mike and Travis always say everybody wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. And
yep.
But I use that line from Captain Eckert all the time. Everybody wants to be a fucking fireman until it's time to be a fucking fireman. And when fucking smoke's rolling over your, flames are fucking licking your helmet, and that's where the fucking people who really love this job and want to get the fucking job done, that's where they're going to be. Not fucking pussyfooting in the fucking corner being like, oh, what do we do?
I'm like afraid to go inside. It's like, why are you here then? That's literally the job.
There's fire in there? Wait, you have to go in there? Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's fire. I gotta stay back here. I gotta do water supply.
I want to look cool. I need to make sure I look cool for my selfie. You guys go do everything.
I've noticed, and this is my little soapbox, one thing that drives me fucking nuts is like the guys who are more concerned with playing games than actually doing work. It's like, yeah, you show up when it's convenient for you, when you think you're going to have fun, but at the end of the day, you still don't actually do any work. And the second real work happens, you are suddenly not available. It's funny how many guys.
Shit.
Yeah, it's funny how many guys are just like, oh, the fire's out. Oh, wait, I got to go home. I can't. Oh, it's late. I got to go. We got to clean up and overhaul. No, I got to go. Sorry. It's amazing how often that happens. And it drives
my first fire with our department. We never fucking left anything because I wanted to make sure everything was put back in service.
Right.
And everything. You were on duty.
I don't remember which one that was.
That was my first ever fire with us, which was last April.
Is that Upper Guinea Road?
Well, way to go, asshole! I wasn't gonna say it, but yes, it was that fire. But yeah,
there were so many departments that went there. Yeah. I'm still impressed by the engine company that pulled a vertical draft off a bridge.
I will text you that name of that because we like to keep things vague.
Yeah, someone right down the road was pulling like a.
It wasn't even down the road. Nope.
It was like next door. It was within eyeshot, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, cleaning's part of the job. It sucks, but.
There it is. I sent that to you, but that's who did it. It was a New Hampshire department.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
Because I think the only reason why they were able to pull a vertical draft from that small little stream is because the person who was the chauffeur on that truck that day.
Almost likely.
Because he has learned how to do that.
I want to get off.
You do or don't?
We are visited.
checking up on me.
Making sure your dad's not falling asleep.
Are you awake?
I work nights. Plus, trust me, I don't know what sleep is.
Yeah.
No, we're not painting right now. Daddy's doing a meeting on the computer here. Go upstairs. Go play with your brother. We'd have ruined it. God. Yeah, like stuff like that, like where you talk about people, like, oh, they're amongst the missing all of a sudden. It's just classic, it's just certain people, like, even if I know certain people that are lieutenants, and I ain't never seen them in a fire in my life. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute, like, you're supposed to be like,
you're supposed to be the person that knows things that
like,
people
you're
look
like a
up
leader.
to.
You're like a leader. Like, where the hell are you? You're nowhere to be found. Oh, I had to check the back to do a 360 or something. Okay, cool. I'm going in. Bye.
Yeah, all right. I'm not gonna wait for you. Fine.
I really don't care what the hell you're doing, and whatever. I mean,
and then
the guys that are gonna go. The guys. My chief knows the guys that are gonna go to work and do work and not bitch or complain about it, or they know that they're gonna get in there and they're just it's gonna be like pulling teeth to get them out. So.
Yeah, and it's like the guys, I call them just the photo op firemen.
Ugh.
Yep.
It's one thing when like nothing is happening and you're idly standing around. It's different when people always seem to find time to do it.
Yeah.
When I started as a junior, my one mentor, and this is something that I still carry to this day. If you're on your phone, you're not doing your fucking job. If you're taking pictures, you're not doing your fucking jobs. Put your fucking phone away when you're on a call.
Yep.
Put it away. You don't fucking need it.
Mine will stay in my pocket or on a rig or whatever, depending on what call it is.
Yeah.
It won't come out until I'm like done. Like if I'm like done. If I have my coat off and I'm in rehab, or if I'm doing something else, then I'll just check it real quick. Just text my wife, tell her I'm good. She knows that. She can. She knows. I'll just text her real quick and tell her that like I'm good, so she doesn't have to freaking worry. What are you doing?
We see an eyeball.
These guys are gonna yell at you. Do you want them to yell at you? These guys are firemen right here.
Try to be sometimes.
Right.
Look, get a nice pop.
Yeah, I hate having crap in my pockets. I'll literally usually if I'm driving, or even if a lot of times, most of I miss riding backwards, but so much of the time now I'm either driving or sitting up front. And I usually I'll get my pants halfway on and then I just start ditching everything in my pockets. I hate having shit in my pockets under my gear.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll take everything out of my pockets and then I'll even the belt too, because that shit still gets on whatever you've got on.
Yeah, I have on my radio
guys that strip down to their boxers sometimes.
Oh God, I do.
they'll come to the firehouse before they get their gear up. They drop trowel. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I never saw that before. That's weird.
Yep. The last department I was on, one of the guys, our lockers were next to each other. Same thing. He'd drop trowel, throw his gear on, and then I'm like, that's such a good idea though when you think about it. Especially in the summer, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I don't know how guys, some of our guys, they'll put their shit on no socks and barefoot and something
I made that mistake. What is that?
Yeah, I did that.
I made that mistake once when I was a junior. It was it was the town festival day, and we did a little relay thing, and then jumped into a porta tank. And I was wearing rubber boots, and it took 3 guys to peel my boots off me. So always wear socks with at least.
Yeah, I make sure. I don't know how people can do that shit.
I went to a motor vehicle accident once, and I happened to be across the street from the fire station at the town beach, and we got a call for a motor vehicle accident. So I had wet swim shorts on, no shirt, no socks. 90-degree day. But the only saving grace is I had leather boots on. That was the only saving grace of
they
getting anything off.
They still get kind of like sweaty and shit. So
Oh yeah, but
I can't do that.
But yeah, I made that mistake, and I'm like, I'm never doing this fucking again.
Yeah.
I went to a fire and a dog. Unfortunately, it was at a dog kennel in the town next to where I live, and it got so goddamn muddy that the mud was so thick. I was in full turnout gear, and I would sink, and it would actually the mud would start pulling my boot off. I was like, God damn it! And then I'd have to. There was one point I had to stick the pole I had, or the pipe pole I had, in the ground, and I had to pull myself forward just a little bit.
Yeah, fine.
It wouldn't go.
It was like last April or something. It was a permitted burn that got out of hand, and I'd showed up in the brush truck, started walking away, and I had to have someone come help me get out of the mud because I sank like 2 feet into it. I was like, please just don't take my boot with you. That's all I ask. It was bad.
But yeah. See, I kind of just I had to make a pit stop and fucking came in like, photography sucks ass. Don't do it on the fire ground. I'm like, I feel like I knew where we're going with this.
Yeah, I was saying,
when there's a certain officer who had to put his phone inside the cabinet and then put the timer on his phone so he could strike a pose and then actually use it as his profile picture to make it look like somebody took his picture, but we all know what happened.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
The fake Jakes where they got to look like they're doing something.
Fake Jakes?
It's amazing how many, just in general, and I've always seen all this crap across multiple departments. It's funny how many people like put packs on to look like they're doing work, but they never fucking turn their tanks on.
It's there for a reason. It's to go inside and do work.
No, it's an ornament apparently to some guys.
Nope. I'm all set. Fuck that. That fucking pack is put on to do one thing and one thing only. Breathe there and go inside. But that's just me.
Right.
Jesus. We've been gone at it for like 2 hours, boys.
Yeah.
We're almost talked out.
That's what happens with me. I keep talking.
I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, I can't even think of anything.
Yeah.
It's easier. Usually we go for like an hour, but like having anyone else, it's easier to actually have conversations because usually we're just like, these are the talking points we want. And then we have some like small conversations in between ourselves, but it's like, we've already known each other and talked about most of this stuff. So having someone else actually helps to be like anything to talk about because it's all new. A lot of the times when one of us talks, we've already heard most of the stories. So we've heard it already. So we don't tell it usually.
It's all the same shit, just different state.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, like, I don't know if you've listened to the latest episode that just came out today. Today being Saturday. This one will come out next Saturday. But it's bridging the gap. It's rebuilding that brotherhood. And, you know, it's not expected, but I'm like, you know, if I ever run into this guy, hey, we've talked. Let's have a beer and actually get to know each other in person and not through a freaking webcam.
That's a lot what I, with the business, it's you put the messages, the text messages, the emails and all that shit. Then you finally get to put a face to it. Like when I've met up with some of these people, like, my father-in-law lives in North Carolina right now. And every year we'd either go down for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And one of my buddies now, he's on the truck in Winston-Salem. He rides the tiller. So he was like a customer from like fucking way back. And then just became good friends. So like when we go down there, I go to the station, I visit them, and we bullshit for a little bit, and there, or I go other places, just to meet up with these people that they've been your customer, they, even if it's like they bought one thing or they've been a repeat customer, and then you finally put these bases and like conversations just through emails and shit to like, you become pretty good friends with them because, you just don't sit there and talk about business. Like, oh, like what fire department are you in, or what do you do? And you just start conversating with all these people. And then, that's how I think I probably have like more friends out there in like in the country that I talk to like on a daily basis than I do actually here in my own town. It's that's just the way how I am. It's I'm an asshole. I'll be the first to say it, but I'm also a good person to just sit there and bullshit. Like, you want to talk fire talk? I'll talk fire talk all day long. I think my wife gets annoyed with me when I sit there and just talk fire talk, because it's just it's a major thing. Obviously, it's a major thing. It's a major thing in my life, and there's a lot of people out there. There's people that will message me asking me, what's this helmet worth, or something like that. Or they'll just, contact me just to ask me what, I would pay for a certain helmet for a collector, and I don't really look at myself as like knowing like if that's like if I'm giving them the right answer or something like that. That's just what I would pay or something like that. But like, I guess it's gaining that mutual respect with someone that, like, hey, this kid's, this guy's got a big collection, and they look at you as that, and you spark up these conversations with people just being in the fire service. Then you get those fucking tool jobs out there that, like, you post a pic, you post pictures of your bar, and then next thing you know, like, they're sending you a private message like, yo, how much for that helmet? I'm like, it's not for sale. It's like, it's my collection.
Right. You have gone down to, and I've been staring at this for like the last 15 minutes. You have a collection of Borks over there. And it's like,
yeah.
I was like, what the hell? Like, that's getting it down. Like,
it's just shit from like, so like when we do live burns and shit like that, it's just from like my burn helmets. So I just, they're not from real fires. They're not from me going into a fucking house fire. No, those are just from burn shit. I got, I wear, I don't wear my, how you would say, duty helmet into a live burn. I have burn gear, burn helmet, all that shit. But yeah, that's shit from there. That's my dad's coat right there. Back when, I don't even know, probably from like the 70s maybe.
I was just about to say definitely the 70s.
I got a Boston coat right here. I'll fucking take you for a little tour real quick. Boston coat right there.
Old school.
Oh, wow.
Old school long coat, Boston. This coat right here is actually old FD&Y coat. Ladder 26 out of the Bronx. Old air packs. Old Scots. Oh shit. Actually, this is what you'll probably. I had a whole bunch of helmets.
That is awesome.
So I don't know if Travis and you guys and Mike know, but that one that's like multicolored, that red, the white, the black, that is a San Francisco style helmet. That's how they roll out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't they also still using wooden ladders too in San Francisco?
They are,
Fucking
yes.
A, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring that up to Zuni so bad. I was like, let's get into this conversation, because I would fucking trust a wooden ladder over a fucking aluminum ladder any day of the week.
I can't remember what I was watching, but it was basically they were talking about the ladder shop. I cannot remember what show that was.
There it is. There's the Bangor ladder, or the Pompetier ladder.
So I got a wooden ladder right here. Pompier. That's a wooden attic fold-up ladder. Some hooks. I don't even know. I got too much shit in here. I'm actually going to be rearranging it for like the 4th or 5th time. I don't know why. This thing's pretty cool. I got this from an old friend right there. So this is out in Chicago, or I'm sorry, yeah, Devil's Night.
Detroit.
Detroit. Yeah, my bad. I don't even know why I didn't even think of that. So they put these on the houses, for Halloween.
Don't burn the
for all
house down
arts.
and watching.
Yeah, so they did all that. So I got that. That was actually came from a house out there. One of the guys I knew, he got that for me for here. I don't know. I just collect shit. I actually I'll show you this because, some people, I got some holy grails of the leather helmets. 16 combs, which are like very, very hard to come by. I know a guy who just spent like $3,000 on one, and I actually have two of them.
Oh, Jesus.
So this one's so you can see the combs on them.
Yeah.
They're different than the actual ones that there are now. So that's this shield right there, or front, however you want to call it. This is from gold leaf furnace pieces. So one of the guys I was telling you about. So this is one of the gold leafs that he did for me. And then I have
I forgot that this is recording. I can't do stupid shit like that.
he did this one for me too.
That one's badass.
Oh my god. Yeah, it is.
So it's just the name of my bar, the Tower Ladder Tavern, but he did it like the old school fireman way, I told him to just make something cool, and he did.
Yeah, that definitely is cool.
Just, cool stuff like that. I collect. I got my son's helmet down here when he was born, my daughter's helmet. I got like two of her helmets down here. Actually, this one's pretty cool. So other than my dad's helmets that I started collecting, this was like my first helmet that I actually got. Like, it kind of started my collection. So it's this one. It's from the factory. It's an unfinished leather, so it's just like one of the processes of it going through. I believe it was a factory reject, but I'm not too sure because it doesn't look like. I don't know why it would be rejected because it looks fine to me. It's just through the process, and then how that would look. The brim. This is actual. I don't know if you can see
That
it.
is definitely unfinished.
Before they cut it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is just
Nice.
as it was standard. I got like two of these. I had four, but I sold two of them to people that wanted them. Actually, no. I sold. How many do I have? Two here. Sold one, traded one, and gave one away to my best friend. I painted up a shield for his daughter that was born, and then I mounted the shield in the middle of it. Painted the brim pink. It was a girl, and so I gave that to him because I did the same thing for something a little different, but for when his son was born. So I did it one for when his daughter was born. It was just a cool thing. He's a good fireman. In my department, he's an engine guy, but we bust each other shit about that all the time. So
We won't hold it against him.
Nah. Good dude. But yeah, I acquired this sign just for I can't really tell you where. But it's
Tactically acquired.
It's a good sign that kind of fits the bar.
Oh yeah.
It's perfect.
Mile marker 107.5, but I always made the joke that I was going to get it from the area that it was, and the guy I knew was like, "Oh, I can get that for you." I was like, "Yeah, okay." Sure enough, the thing showed up on my fucking house in the mail.
Like, wait a minute here.
You drive past these signs on the interstate, and they don't really look that big. And I get this huge ass package in the mail. I'm like, "What the fuck is this thing?" Open it up. I'm like, "Holy shit!" The guy was serious about getting it. So,
well, probably it's I-95.
nope. Oh no? Wait, no, it's not.
I was gonna say not over there.
No, it's I'll tell you, it's on 81.
81, yeah.
Mike, you're from this friggin' area.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm from Dutchess County originally.
No, you're not. Really?
Yeah. I'm originally from Beacon, but we moved up to Maine when I was 8.
I'm originally from Red Hook.
Yeah, but so my dad's side of the family is from Sleepy Hollow, and my mom's side of the family is from Mount Vernon and White Plains. My grandfather actually, way back in the day, was deputy chief on Mount Vernon Fire.
Who was that?
What was his name? Unfortunately, I didn't meet him until I was 16. So, but I actually haven't.
It wasn't Henry Campbell, was it?
No.
Okay.
That's actually a picture my aunt had of him way back in the day.
Okay.
Gagliardo.
That's funny that you're from Dutchess County, though.
Yeah.
I lived in Dutchess County for 30 years.
Yeah, my aunt lives up in Wappingers right now, and okay. Most of my family is still in like Terrytown, White Plains.
Okay, so that's right down the line.
Yeah. So when John was just like, "Oh, it'll be 95," I'm like, "Nah," and I'm like, "There's no way." I was maybe 84, but that's lower.
Well, 84 goes into 81, so
yeah,
95 is on the coast. On the coastline, so. It would take 87, 84, 81 to North Carolina because where we had to go was more inland than it was on the coast.
That's funny. I learned something right there.
That's funny as shit that you're from my old county.
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Like we were talking because eventually we're gonna get the Squad Father on.
Yeah.
And
so I know him.
Yeah.
I stopped out to a station one night while my mom had surgery up, and he's actually from Albany. So while he was up there, one of my buddies is actually in the department with him. So I was like, "Hey, let me stop by and check your station out because I wanted to check the rescue out." And he would just happen to be there, so we just started bullshitting back and forth. So I got to meet him. I sat there, and that was another one of the things where my wife was out she was out in a car, and she was like, "Hey, you want to get going sometime tonight?" Like, because I just sat there and just fucking bullshitted with him like all night. He's a good dude. He's another one that's fire service oriented.
Just does the extra shit because he has to. Definitely, it's
from what I heard, like he's a hell of a fireman. He was down at the pile helping out, so he's seen some shit that a lot of guys don't want to say. So I've known of him from talking with other people that he's, like I said, he's a hell of a fireman, but he's big into it. Like I sent him a bunch of shit of mine from my business, a bunch of stickers and patches and stuff, and he threw a shout out on his page to me, and he's a good dude. He'd probably enjoy being on there. His daughter will probably have to show you how to fucking do the Zoom thing like my wife had to. So
that's what he was telling me. He was like, "I don't know how to. I'm not technically savvy. I'm not tech savvy." I'm like, "That's fine, dude.
Yeah.
We all have our thing." And yeah, I was super excited to have him on. We had him all scheduled, and I got pulled away to a department matter that I had to take care of, and unfortunately, we had to reschedule on my account, which I was fucking pissed.
But by the time you showed up, they got really busy because he was on shift or something.
Yeah, he got called away to a standby for a job.
Yeah, so their department's weird, because they run a lot of hazmat shit. And So he, they only get called out for like pin jobs, not like a bullshit, bumper to bumper crap or whatever. Like they'll get, I believe when I was talking with him, it's pins, confirmed pins, hazmat, and I think confirm working fires. So I think that's just pretty much how his department runs.
Jesus, just imagine if those are the only calls that we ever went out for, boys.
And they're a volley staff also.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. And that firehouse is nice.
It looks nice.
It's so like the back room. Uh-oh.
That is a child pissed off.
You can hear that all the way upstairs. It's bedtime, that's why.
We won't keep you much longer. Bedtime's an important time.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, he's a good dude. He's a straight up dude. You guys, if you ever, if you do another cast with him or something like that, he probably has some good stories to tell you. So,
yeah, that's pretty much. I was like, well, I need to get this guy on, and I tossed it around to these two lads, and they're like, fuck yes. Just because he's a senior guy, he's got some knowledge to pass down, and that's the biggest thing is, in the first episode, I think we very heavily talked about like some of the senior guys nowadays. They're just dropping the ball to us younger guys coming on the job. It's ridiculous. I mean, I try to pass down as much as I can with what little I know.
And that's the same thing with me. Like, I'm not saying I'm the best out there. I did learn from the senior men, from the old school firemen. So, whatever you learn, whatever you can try to teach to these young kids, you just try to, the main thing that we tell them right from the get-go is when you're hanging out here, don't sit around at the firehouse with your feet up. Go out in the engine room and look around the apparatus. Spend 15, 20 minutes on a certain apparatus a day. Look through, because it's not the chief, it's not the captain, it's not the lieutenants, or not the other firemen that are going to look like assholes when someone tells you to go get something. You're going to look like the asshole when you don't know where shit is. So, that's one thing that we really push a lot is knowing your apparatus, knowing where shit is, and, knowing what the tool or whatever is used for. So we really push that on a lot of people, on a lot of the members that come in. If they chose not to do it, then, like I said before, you know where they're going to end up.
Yeah, they're not going to last long. I know with me and every new department that I've gone on, came on to, is I try to spend at least a little bit of time, at 15 minutes, each time I stop by the fire station, and just try to learn the truck. Mm-hmm. And that only makes you, one, it lets everybody else that you're not there just to be a jack off and just there for the cool helmet. It's, you're there for the right reasons. You want to learn the job, you want to learn the truck, and if you happen to be riding that truck, at least you know what your shit is.
Yep. We have a force entry door, so we tell guys, if you want to just hang out here and just fucking practice how to fucking use a force entry door, by all means, do it. Practice putting your gear on, practice putting your mask on with your gloves on and shit like that. It's gonna help out down the line somewhere. If it's your first fire or your 30th fire. So
yeah,
the way I look at it.
That's the thing. My first fire, I was, I'm not gonna say how old I was, but I remember trying to figure out how to turn the freaking pack on, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, I had to have a civilian help me to turn the damn thing on because I couldn't figure it out, because I was just so focused on the fire, and the fire blowing out the rear of the building. I'm like, I gotta get out of there. Stupid rookie shit. But sounds like those kids are giving your wife a hard time.
She's right here. I just heard the elephant just ran down the stairs. So she's like looking at me like I got 10 heads right now. I was about to ask her where the fire was.
But yeah, well, we'll end it here. But again, you have an open invitation anytime you want to come on with us, and and just talk bullshit. But thank you for coming on and trusting us with your story and stuff. So
hey, thank you for having me. My first podcast, so I didn't even know what the hell I was getting myself into. I don't know this shit. I don't, with technology.
As you can tell, we keep a very relaxed thing. We have just talking points, like Mike said, and we kind of just go from that. We kind of just let it flow however it wants to. But
yeah, when we first started and we were just like, oh, we'll just kind of talk about things, share experiences and whatever. What we're doing now, actually, I like so much more is just like talking to people.
Yep.
It's way different than what we originally were doing. And it's actually been, for me, so much better. Not that I didn't enjoy what we were doing to begin with, but getting the chance, like when we were talking to Zuni and I was just like, jaw 3 feet down the whole time. I was just like, this is fucking awesome because this is a guy I never would have met otherwise. And I've always kind of like joked around, been like, how fucking sweet it would be to go out and work LA County Fire. And then I'm talking to this fucking like 8-year full-time LA County Fire guy. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. and that's what I love about it. And me and Cooney were talking off air about it is, this is like the coolest thing is like we have this technology and we're using it for the purpose that it's meant to be. And we're here we are in bumfuck Maine and he's in New York and here we are. We're virtually sitting in the Tower Ladder Tavern drinking beer and
I got a Pepsi tonight, but
I figured given our conversation, but that's what this is supposed to be about. It's the brotherhood, and I'm glad we're, taking it one step at a time and reinfusing the brotherhood. So I appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. Whatever. So if you have anything you want to promote, you want to plug, absolutely feel free.
Here's the floor.
I'm not really one for that. I like I said before, like I don't touch the computer.
She's the boss.
She was going around telling the wife, my wife today, boss, can you do this for me? I'm like, she's calling my wife the boss. I'm like, what the hell? I'm not, like I said, I'm not really one for. I'm not really one for. Come on, hon, you're blocking the camera. These guys are gonna get mad at you. I'm not really one for plugging my shit out there. Like I said, it's word of mouth, and people see my work and they come to me. I'm not the best out there. I don't claim to be. I don't want to be.
Talking to them. Are they gonna? Is this gonna be over?
Yeah, it's gonna be over soon. You want to say anything? You sure? Now's your chance. I let my work, come to me. I don't really like promoting. I'll promote different ways, but I'm not really one to just go out there and bust out on people's posts or whatever like that. Like I said, if people want to see my work or they want to do whatever, they'll have a way of finding me. Or now you're on.
Now we're shy.
Say hi. No? You don't want it? You want to show them your helmet? Show them your helmet. No? All right, fine. You lost. I'll block the camera now. But like I said, if people want to just check me out, that's cool. Like, just to check my workout, it's cool. I've come a long way. I'm still learning. I'm still, I'm still checking out lines. I'm still making my lines straighter. My helmet shields aren't perfect. Like I said, I know I'm not perfect. I try to give the customer the best work I can, for what they want. And I haven't had anyone tell me that my work was shit, so that's at least a plus. I tend to draw up a mock-up drawn first and send them the picture to get the approval if they want things changed or whatever like that. But they like the work. They, I've actually had some repeat customers already. I had a guy, he wanted me to do something. It was like from a shirt logo that they had for their truck company. And I did a shield up. He's a lieutenant. He loved what I did. He actually ordered like 3 more shields. He told me that I probably have about, I think, 20 more shields I might have to be doing for them. So, one shield turns into 20, and I work with my customers on prices. If you do like a bulk order, I lower the price. Like I said, it's not all about the money. I look at it as a pride and just working with, the brothers out there. Like you said, it's all about that, because sometime down the line, I'll probably end up meeting these guys and just hanging out and bullshitting and having a beer with them. Can you watch YouTube on my phone? What do you want to watch on YouTube? Fire trucks?
The tillers. You gotta watch the tillers.
Nah, we don't like trucks that bend at the waist, right? Nah.
Badass trucks. I'm just saying.
We like tower ladders, right? Real tower ladders. Ones you don't climb.
Just straight bucking. Just a straight bucket.
Yeah. I get her going all the time. I tell her that, I said, oh, there's those people on the engines, the old water weasels. I said, you don't want to be them. I said, you want to be on the truck. That's where the real firemen are.
Daddy, can protect the bar.
Where's Mommy? You're going to have to edit this one out. This conversations.
That's it. It is what it is. It makes it more interesting.
Yeah, we might take that as our cue, though. We won't keep you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Daddy, can I watch TV?
we're going to get going. These guys got to go to bed. I got to go to bed. You got to go to bed because you didn't have a nap today.
Oh, geez.
So that means you're going to be ratchet.
Can I watch TV?
You want to go drink a beer?
Where? Nah.
What do we tell the guys real quick what we call